I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm like, what y'all think this shit gonna look like in 10 years? Like, I be thinking about shit like, I just hope, it don't hurt. You know what I mean? Like, the movies we see, I hope it ain't no bombing and no crazy shit like that we gotta experience, or, torture. You know what I'm saying? I hope it's quick, nice and easy, smooth, whatever it is. But that's been on my mind for a while, and I haven't spoke about it. I haven't talked about it. But life don't feel like, it don't feel promising. Like, like back in the days, 90s, probably, early 2000s or whatever, it just felt like life was life. It just felt like, this is what it is. Like, life is life. I feel lucky. I feel lucky to be experiencing this. I feel lucky. But now it's like, with so much chaos, so much shit going on, like, I just feel like, I feel like the end is near. I do. I just do. I hope it's not, but I do. I just feel like, something big is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And with all these different people playing with this power shit and having these power trips, like, what's the world gonna look like? How the kids gonna be? How we gonna integrate with AI? We can't get over racism. How the fuck we gonna integrate with robots and shit? I think jobs going, even thinking about that is interesting. Like, jobs going be a thing of the past. Like, I truly believe that it'll be jobs, but very limited. You know what I mean? It'll be jobs available for a number of people. But I think we in for some shit that our imagination won't even allow us to imagine. Like, it just feels like life as we know it. It's like, it's not going, it's going to be like that way of living. Like, I feel like that shit is going to just be like, it's going to be behind us, forgotten about. Like, I feel like we doing so much complaining now, but it's like the kind of complaining that a spoiled motherfucker would do. Somebody that know that they are spoiled and that they're privileged and fortunate. Like, we don't realize how much we do have, or what we, what we're fortunate to have. Like, I don't think we realize that, because it hasn't been taken away. I think either two things are going to happen. I think it's either going to be some super futuristic shit that we just not ready for, and it's going to blow us the fuck away. It's going to fuck us up. It's going to scare us. Or we going to go back to simpler times where it's not going to be any means of resource to get Louis Vuitton and Gucci and drive a Bentley uh, and live in a great neighborhood. You know what I mean? Or we'll be going in the direction of some super futuristic shit, and it's just gonna be scary. Like, bro, think about that, bro. Coexisting with robots that's like walking around and in your house and at the store, and or you know that post that post apocalyptic type of feeling where you know people people are going from riches to rags. You know what I mean? Like just going backwards. Even looking at the kids, man, it's like what they gonna be like. Cause shit, sometimes I feel like I'm a human dealing with a robot. Like I am a human, and you know, sometimes even like looking at the kids or my kids and how they operate and things like that. It's like, damn, y'all they human, but it's like y'all closer to robots than than I am. I feel like I'm still like in that millennial and still in that human realm. Like I don't know. These are just things I think about. I ponder on like, would a roles reverse? Will black people have some type of leverage? You know what I mean? Will will white people get a taste of poverty, being a have-not? That shit won't last long though. White people will start deleting black people. I'm telling you, I think I'm playing like you can't when you used to winning for so long, yo, you gotta see some of the shit people do to keep winning, to not lose. You know, you see athletes do it all the time. They take steroids, they do all types of shit, man. So imagine, white people been winning for 400, 500 plus years. That ain't gonna last long. Us being in a role of having resources and living a comfortable life, but I just think, all jokes aside, I just feel like we at this fork in the road, and whatever happens next, whatever ends up happening next is going to shape the next 20, 30, 40, 50, maybe 100 years, you know what I mean? But I think something big is on the horizon. I don't look at life the same. After 2020, um, life changed, man. Life just start feeling different. Maybe it just opened me up to realizing that anything can happen. You know what I mean? And maybe I was just better off being oblivious and being naive, you know what I mean, in my own world of how this life shit was. And after 2020, it just opened me up to like realize like, yo, this shit is wicked. You know what I mean? Anything can happen. If they created a fake virus and all of that, or created a real virus, but they still created it to wipe people out and to do certain shit, and one of those only the strong survive type situations, that's wicked. That's deep. So when you start to understand and see certain shit and realize it, it make you look at this shit different. But I just feel like people just want to go, want to go, want to go, want to go. I wonder if people ask themselves questions like that, like, where this shit gonna be at in 10 years? Where it's gonna be at in 5? Are we gonna be here? I'm thinking like that. Like, are we gonna still be here? More than anything, though, I feel like, are we still gonna just be moving along smoothly? Like, of course, people struggling, people barely getting by, but I'm saying, is life going to be just what we know life to be? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, is it going to just be what it's been? Life is just being life? Or it's something big and catastrophic gonna happen. And that's what I feel like. I feel like something big, something really catastrophic is gonna happen. And it's gonna fuck us up. It's gonna fuck people up. And that could be in a number of ways. It could be exposing the truth. It could be certain powerful people losing their leverage, losing their power. It could be roles reversing and things changing in a way that people never seen it, never even could think, never could even dream or imagine. But I just don't think that life is going to be what it has been, what it is today and previously. I don't think that it's going to be that for too much longer. Like, I don't think it could, I don't think the life that we're used to living and all of the lies and all of the veils and curtains that's been drawn and pulled and, you know, all of the wool that's been pulled over people's face. I just don't think that that's sustainable for too much longer. Not that the sun gonna fall out the sky and, you know, the fucking cracks gonna be in the ground and we're gonna be divided and people gonna be falling into dark holes and, you know, the everlife or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Not nothing like that, but I just think something's going to happen. You know what I mean? I really, and I've been feeling like that for a while. I'm like, yo, shit gonna get to a point where you're gonna have to survive. I'm leaning more toward that, as you could tell. Not really more of buying into the future and all of the artificial shit and all of the AI. I'm leaning more toward no Wi-Fi, you know, no smartphones, like all of the shit that we love and rely on as consumers. The life that we rely on, whether we complain about it, we bitch about it, we hate it, we talk about how stressful life is and check to check and bills and oh my God, I'm barely getting by and da da da. I'm saying, like, I'm leaning toward like those being luxuries, those being looked back on as luxuries. Like, damn, well, at least we. But I just feel like not so much the AI shit, the futuristic shit, because I feel like it's only so far you can take that. I feel like all of the stuff that we consume and we rely on to be there for us when we wake up every day, I feel like that shit is gonna crumble. And that's gonna be like, aside from all of the shit that we scared of and nuclear bombs and all of the shit that we think that they're gonna do to us, and they use these tactics to keep us in fear, I truly believe that the most slept on, but the biggest that's not being talked about or not being processed or understood or realized by the human people, the human species, is us no longer having this shit. Going back to those beginning times. And the biggest thing, like I said, that's not being talked about is how we gonna cope. How are we gonna cope? How are we gonna overcome it? You know, a lot of people gonna lose their mind the first couple of hours without Wi-Fi. The first couple of hours without being able to you know, use their phone, get on social media. Like, the things that we look at like, oh, that's just foolishness, that's stupid, nobody cares about that, it's frivolous. I can live without TikTok, I can live without Instagram, but can you really live without that shit? Can you really live without that shit? Can you really live without Wi-Fi? Can you really live a minimal, boring life? It's different when you choose not to, rather than you can't altogether. It's the difference between I'm choosing not to do this shit and it don't exist anymore. I can't do it. So I wonder what this shit gonna be like in the next 10 years. You know what I mean? Next 5 years. What does life look like? scary thing, man. But I think about this shit often, man.